So in this one, we are going to be reacting to Goresh's ranking the top 10 best characters in the game, December 2023 edition, his final top 10 list here. I have seen a little bit of it, nothing really actually a fully, like, oh my god, that's going on here. I actually do think, from my perspective, my list, this is one of Goresh's best top 10. So without further ado, let's just get into it. There's going to be a lot of points I just agree. And once I just agree, there's nothing really, to say. So we'll just move on from there. But I do not expect this to be any longer video than his own. If not, probably shorter. Because, again, I saw a lot of stuff here I could agree. If not, just, understand or completely agree with. Like, I can see the idea. But there is one thing I do need to see explained for me here.
Hey guys, so today we're going to be jumping into a top 10 units list in Dragon Ball Legends. This is going to be the December 2023 edition. This is the final top 10 list of 2023. The finale of Legends Fest has already happened. We have Ultra UI signed Goku. Now, the last video I did was technically not a top 10 list. It was more of a tier list. And the reason why I did that is because at that time, I was going to 10 more so set up and have these top seasons. I think I finished top to 14 stars best. Let's go ahead and just jump into the rankings here. We'll start with number 10, then we'll work our way up to number 1. All right, so at number 10, I have Orange Piccolo here.
I can understand this personally. I had this guy, again, I made my list, then I kind of had some alterations where I had this guy as like a 9-10 area, I believe, Piccolo. I think highest I had was 8, actually. So I couldn't think of like 9-10 as Rev UI and 8 Vegeta, which I have them at. But I did lower Piccolo below Rev UI and 8 Vegeta, as Piccolo is a sub-tier option to the other, units here, where Rev UI I would think would be a better off option than Piccolo, because Uni Reps is a better off team than a second-rate character on movies. And that 8 Vegeta, I think Saiyans is a very good roster, but it's 8 Vegeta. No one's really going to run him, so he's not very hype, and people aren't going to see the light of him. But Piccolo, I had right below them being a 11 through 13 kind of thing, so him being 10 here. Again, the bottom of a list of like this 10 through 8 usually, for the most part, on a top 10 list really is kind of like, fuzzy, hazy, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of just like a little bit like, who knows what's really going to be there. It's just your discretion at that point. It's not anything that's like concrete. It's more like a 1 through 6 is more concrete, right? Like, I would say 1 through 6 is usually more concrete things. It's maybe the order is obviously, jumbled a bit, but that's like the things that matter the most in the game. That's like the most meta. Things below that, it's like, yeah, there's kind of like that off thing that you might run into that you like more, or they like more. And this is Orange Piccolo. I know Goresh has liked this character a lot in recent history here. It's not just in general. I know he rated him highly when most people weren't. So him being top 10, while I don't agree that he's top 10, 11 through 13 is nothing different from top 10. Again, that just comes down to your discretion of what you're seeing here. It gets more objective the further you go through. It's more subjective the lower you are in this 10, 9, 8, threshold here. So Orange Piccolo, I can understand this. I don't really need an explanation for it. I know the next thing, though, I will need an explanation for, because I am curious as to the reasonings behind it.
Is going to be the tag Gamma 1 and 2 character.
This is number 9, by the way. So this one, clearly, I do not understand. I've seen the other list that they had. What was he at? 6? 7? What was he? I don't know. He was something like that. The other list, and I don't understand it. So now, thankfully, an English-speaking player can explain it to me. I want to know why they're
and I'm
top
actually
10.
going to semi-combine this with number 8 on the list, because number 8 is going to be 17. So
androids. Yeah.
I think we've seen, I mean, again, it's been a few months since I've released the last top 10 list, but in that time period, I think these characters, these two android characters, the Gammas and then 17, have probably seen some of the bigger drop-offs in terms of just the spots that have changed between these characters since the last list.
Yes.
And a lot of that has to do, I think, with the fact that this team doesn't really have a go-to, like, I guess the best way to describe it is a point character. I think that's the term they use for, like, that's used for fighting games, where, like, again, like in fighters, I think it's like your point character is the character that you are using most of the time that's switched into the battlefield. Well, I would argue that Cell was the point role on the Android team up until now.
Yes.
And, I mean, Cell is obviously still a really good character.
Okay, I'm understanding where he's going with this, but yeah, okay. So, why are they here? like the thing is, androids, it would usually be like Cell is one popping off, and he's gonna explain that here. I'm just touching on it real quickly though. Cell would be the one popping off. Then the game was kind of like take a hit or two, then you could tag out, kind of progressively, not offensively, more defensively. Honestly, you would do this progressively, build up their tag mechanic to where they can core breaker. More, sometimes it's defensively, sometimes offensively, but more or less you go like, okay, I'll switch into my game of 1, game of 2 here to take like 3 to 4 cards. It's nothing too crazy. They'll heal and tag out. They'll heal after taking the first card. It's nothing too crazy. I tag out. Okay, boom. Progressively building a core breaker, but Cell is like your main damage dealer. But what makes them stay here is my question.
I really think he's been power crept at all. It's just Cell, that purple Cell is the definition of a character that is still very good, but this is just simply not the meta for him. He is not going to perform well in this meta. Not because he's been power crept, not because he's bad, but he's purple.
I definitely expected nobody to think Cell wouldn't be like good right now.
And so without Cell, I think androids definitely does suffer quite a bit. And so without Cell, the Gammas end up becoming sort of your relegated point unit.
Yes.
And when the Gammas are your relegated point unit and you have a yellow that you're using a lot, Beast Gohan is just going to absolutely incinerate you. And then if it's not Beast Gohan, it's UVB.
Yep.
So I think we have 2 very, very strong reds right now that exist and are in quite a bit of fight. I mean, Beast Gohan is probably the first.
You could also say, I don't know if it's happening in JPQ as Goresh is in, but over here, all I'm facing, I mean, last season, the end of last season, so like where it mattered, right? The end of last season where you're, trying to hit the highest rank. And I was like, what, top 20 when it ended to rank 21, I think, when it ended, after all the bans. I was running into double reds, like maliciously. Like, I couldn't even tell you, I would say a good like 6 to 7 matches out of 10, I would see a double red setup. Not because, of anything specific to the game, it's just that people were so scared of Omen, they ran double reds. And it's like, clearly that has to hurt the game as well, right?
First most character I encounter. He's probably the most popular character I see.
Yes.
It's like him every single fight.
Probably Gohan
if
or...
it's not him, well, I guess besides UI. UI is definitely number
really
one, but
Gohan's
if it's not
most common
UI,
character I run
it's
into.
Beast. Or they're just being used together, like in most instances too. So it's tough for this character to really be able to stick on the battlefield and stick it out with Beast. And also, even like a character like Goku and Bardock are able to just like sort of punch through this character's defense, able to punch through 17's defense. Yeah. A lot of times,
because the thing is, this unit doesn't. The issue with androids they always kind of had, but it wasn't as prominent as it is now, is that while they have the decency of sustainability, they're just genuine. Overall tanking was never there. LS17, this was always the case. With LS17, UVB could mow through androids. It always was the case. It never really wasn't the case. So you always had UVB just kind of able to stomp through androids. Now you have Beast able to do it. Now you have, maybe hits if you want to run into hit, a Vegeta, whatever. 4 reds there. And androids has no third because, Magenta, I guess, exists. Or whoever the hell else you want to run. I don't really think there's another option because you can't bring Cell. Omen exists. You don't have protection with Cell because you have no red on your team, and it's like, well, what do you do? I mean, what leader slot unit do you do on an android setup that's like, yeah, let me run this instead of the Gammas or LS17? That would be a red ranged unit. There's nothing that exists, right? So it's a little bit hazy there, but androids never really had a I can take hits kind of unit. I mean, you could keep healing with like LS17's gauge, with the Gammas, tagging out and then taking the first hit, and then Cell with like his passive healing with his gauge, and then you could keep healing, but they never tanked. Androids always had this issue where they couldn't tank. Any character that debuffed, like UVB, who debuffs every single time he's landing a strike, is making it to where, Android just gets shut down and murdered completely. UVB still having value here, losing a little bit of it, but still having value in the meta does make this team essentially irrelevant.
The android team has relied on disrupt tactics to deter the enemy's offense, as opposed to just like pure bulk. Like the Gammas here are lower key, they lower your card draw speed. 17 is lowering your power whenever you use a blue or an ultimate. He's healing the team. The Gammas are healing a lot. So they use more like utility-based defensive maneuvers as opposed to just raw bulk. And a lot of these newer characters like Goku and Bardock
Janemba,
are not really going to care as much about
Beast,
that. And overall, I just feel like we are sort of getting into the realm where the Gammas are even getting power crept a little bit. I don't think they're completely like unusable and like that. They're still good, even like not even just an Androids team, but like a movies-based team.
Sustain, you gotta sustain
next
better.
Beast, they can perform
sustain
well
with
because
Revival.
Beast is giving support in terms of a blast attack as well for some reason. So the Gammas can be solid there, but I just feel like there's a missing link on their main team, which is Androids, and that missing link is probably in the form of a character that used to be what you would always go with, which was Cell, but it's very, very... it's very what's the best way to it's very sketchy using Cell right now. You have to be like mega careful.
Any purple, but Cell specifically.
But the Gammas, I mean, they're still good enough to be able to compete if you are in the right spot with them. If you're using them in their intended role, which is to be able to come in, combo, do a few tags, continue your combo, build up that gauge, and then switch out with them, like they can be really good still. But it's really tough to accomplish that right now when this is the meta we're in. So. For that reason, I have the Gammas down at number 9. I'm going to quickly cut right here. We'll jump right in. I'm going to talk about 17 very briefly.
All right. Well, let me just mention at the end there. I mean, listen, they could probably do well. Not every match, maybe every match, but not every match will have LF Beast or UVB or something like this, right? It's just, I don't see a particular setting that exists. I mean, you want to run them on like a range-based movies, that's kind of just like weird. I mean, it doesn't flow with the, how everything's going to go for them. I couldn't even think of like a trio. What are you going to do? Pycon, Gogeta, Beast, Gammas? I mean, you're kind of just asking to get folded over by other Beast Gohans, and to get caught so fast, I mean, the Gammas aren't going to tank. So let's say UVB comes in, does his catch, and then you just kind of get like 3 to 5 card in it. It's like, okay, they caught you one time, boom, kaput. Beast caught you with, him being ran with double reds with like pan support. Boom, maybe you're just OHKO from that straight out. Even if you are type neutral, just OHKO. And it's like, I can't see them top 10. That's probably like the biggest disagreement I have here. That's going to be on the list though, with the Gammas being 9. Again, this 10-9 spot, I don't really mind too much because it is just more up to your discretion more than again, the more deep we get into these, it becomes more basically objective of like what's going on. It's more subjective in the beginning with this, 10 through 8, I would say, area. And Gammas at 9, I think definitely fits that subjectivity because most people aren't thinking of like, yeah, the Gammas are like a threat. I would have Revuine Ape over Orange Piccolo and Gammas here, but I don't think that's so much of a big deal. Again, I don't think the Gammas just work right now because you have so many reds trying to run around. The main two being UVB and Beast, but I still think there's other reds which would make the Gammas value diminish even more because those reds do more to blues. With it being Ape and Hit, you gotta like diminish them more because then LS17 takes a hit, and like that's the other character on their team. And again, I don't know what team you're gonna run the Gammas on regardless, so their value, it doesn't exist for me in this current meta. Similar to Cell, they just kind of get hurt by what the meta is more than them being bad on their own right. They just, what are they going to do against these Reds? Nothing.
Okay, so yeah, as I mentioned, 17 is number 8 on the list. Again, I feel like he obviously is a really well-aging character. This character came out basically a full year ago. Like,
that was a hefty sneeze there. Number 8, do I have him? I have number 8, right? Don't I? No, I do have number 8, yeah. Okay, well, I agree. We move on. I mean, what am I going to say? I have number 8. Okay, so we both agree number 8. Cool. We move on from here. Again, if I can not argue it, agree with it, not going to harp on it, right?
Starting to take effect. Alrighty, he has a lot. Alrighty, coming in at number 7, we have Ultra.
I think I had this guy 6/7 interchangeable with Evil Kaioken at 6/7 interchangeable. Once again, I agree. I had this guy 6/7, and he's at 7 here. So, okay, we move on again. It's just easy this one, huh? Don't have to debate anything. And besides the game as well, again, those are low placements. It's just kind of, it's going to be your opinion more than anything at that point, I would argue. Okay, so we have number 6 we just saw there.
Number 6. All right, coming in at number 6, we
fun fact, I did say in the other video, reviewing another tier list reacting to another tier list, that the lowest I can see this character is number 6. So I'm not going to debate this, but I do want to hear his points because I had them 4. But again, the lowest I can see this character is where they are right now at number 6.
Have reviving Piccolo / Super Gogeta. And this is also a situation where I think you could probably just swap this character and Vegeta Blue, right? Number 7, number 6. I think it's kind of close. Most of the time, it's just going to depend on your play style.
I think it more depends on
For
teams.
me, I'm more of a player who likes to be safe with their team compositions. Not that Vegeta Blue isn't safe, but I mean, this is this is a character where you can literally just put them on like almost any team and they'll be able to help.
What he just said right there, that's why I had them higher. Even if there are a little subpar to like the overall top 5, because they fit on so many teams as a strike or blast unit, that's why I had them higher.
A lot defensively with Disrupt, with the Revive, with card destruction, all that stuff. Card draw speed down. This character is very valuable. And I think with them being a Saiyan, that's probably the biggest asset they have.
Yes.
Funnily enough. And I think I actually made the comment, it might have been during my tier list video, not the previous top 10 video, but the tier list video, where I mentioned that this character and Orange Piccolo, I mean, they're pretty similar. There's not really a gigantic difference between this character and Orange Piccolo.
Correct.
But I would say the advantage that this character has over Orange Piccolo is just the fact that they are a Saiyan. And so it makes team building way easier. Like
even more than that, because I would debate Orange and Piccolo, is that Orange is very self-sufficient. You're not really doing much with Orange. You know, with Piccolo, you do have to use him quite a bit. Not a lot, really. If you're just winning, you don't have to use him at all. But if you do want to have this character be their best setting, you do have to click, like, you know, a few cards with the character. You do have to bring them into the fight. Piccolo in his I'm talking about the pre-rival state here. Piccolo, you just hopefully click your main before you revive, so you get the team heal and then, you know, team support there and whatever else you want to get. Maybe do a green card, so his blue card when he transforms is very good because it's the next blue card, ups some damage there on his pre-revival green card, but you really don't have to do much with Piccolo when he's spawning that green card, by the way. Piccolo is much more self-sufficient, while his team, this unit here is much more team-based on like the synergistic setting, because spawning so many greens helps. How many units? Oh my god, all these units have broken green cards. Evo Kaioken, broken green card. Janemba, Gohan, Omen. You know, you have a lot of broken green cards right now, so they're more team-built, while Piccolo is much more a self-built character, in my opinion, which makes this unit's value obviously higher because it's meant for the team to be better off, while Piccolo is much more... He can do team support with his green card one time. With his team heal, he could offer the little bit of support, 15% damage inflicted. That's good, but overall... Piccolo spawning so many greens, Piccolo having that gauge where he's going to pop a little bit of greens, but he's not going to, you know, use them all on himself there. It's much more team-based than Piccolo being a much more individual-based.
Piccolo is going to fit well in movies. Orange Piccolo is going to fit well on regen, but that's not the meta right now. Exactly. Well, movies is meta, but I would say, like, to me, Saiyans just feels like the number one, like runaway number one team in the game.
Yeah.
Saiyans.
Saiyan Sun Family, I think,
this character like is core on the best team in the game, in my opinion. In my opinion, the best team in the game. I'll just say it right now, and I've said this on social media. I think I said this in past videos as well. And this is the team I used to get God ranked this season. You guys will see that video probably tomorrow, by the time this video goes live. But this Piccolo, UI Goku, and Goku and Bardock. That, in my opinion,
it's a very safe team. UI Goku, Goku Bardock. Omen? So I'm going to assume Omen's number 1 and it's not Beast, because if you're going to have a best team in the game, you would have the number 1 unit on it, right? Which would be Omen. If it's not, I'd be a little confused. That's a very safe team. Personally, I prefer Beast, because what you want to do, in my opinion, is that you want to have advantage over that, you know, top tier unit, right? So I have Omen number 2, I have Beast number 1, so obviously I'm going to have Beast on my best team in the game. And I'd rather have Beast to be advantage against Omens, because Omen, when you don't have like a red unit in the match, can clear the entire match very easily, very fast, and no real dilemma, right? When you have Beast on the team I think is best team in the game, instead of Bardock Goku, you have much more leeway to kind of like, okay, I can kind of get caught a little bit, while there's much more safety on the other team because Indestructible and Revival. There's much more leeway on the setting of like, how do I deal with Omen? You know, what do you prefer? A setting where you could deal with Omen very much easier, who is probably the most undisputed, like, when there's no color advantage against him, probably the best unit on that team in the entire match, you know, your opponent versus you. That, or do you prefer an overall safer vibe just against every team in the game? My preference being that you would probably want to just counter out one of those best units in the game, because Omen going unchecked just solos entire matches, right? So having Beast, like I said, for my own best team, would be much more frugal to yourself than having, let's say, Bardock Goku here. Well, I do think Bardock Goku definitely is a very good unit. I think I had them 5, 4, something like that. I do think that maybe I had them 6, something like that. I do think I had them 5. That the overall safety that they can offer is nice. With the basically you can't get rushed because all there is Omen. Then Omen, you know, he's probably not going to die of rush anyways early game, so you kind of can't rush early game anyways. But and the safety with the other stuff. But I rather have a check for that one character. And if Omen is the best character here, I much rather have Beast on that team than having Bardock Goku. But I understand the team's premise. It's just a safer version of my own, where my team is just one revival that's indestructible and revival. But well, let's continue.
Is the best team in the game, and it's just Saiyans. It's literally just pure Saiyans. Is what the
that's
team
why
is.
Sun Family is Beast, right?
And it's not just that, right? This Piccon can also fit on movies. So I think just
Fit
the
a lot of
access to pretty much be on every single team in the game right now. Because I would say Saiyans and movies are the 2 best teams.
You put them on
and
reps
Universe
if you
Reps is
want.
up there as well. But I think movies and Saiyans edges out Universe Reps, believe it or not, right now.
True.
And this Piccon
Easily.
can be core. On
Sun
both of those
Family,
teams.
too.
It just, I think this,
Sun Family's not like a shitty roster. Sun Family, you run Beast, you run Omen, and slap on a third. I mean, that's still technically Sun Family, right? You want to run Bardock Goku, you want to run Beast Gohan, then you want to run a third. I mean, run Piccon Gogeta there, right? Go for it. Sun Family / movie / Saiyan, that kind of mixology trio there. That's also a very good team. It's basically the same thing. It's just slap on a different third that's Gohan or somebody else.
character's in a really good spot. And then I'll make the same comment I made when discussing Orange Piccolo. I think the fact that UI Goku has sort of just eliminated all purple characters from being usable right now also really helps this unit, because he doesn't have to worry
Green
about
up, purple
Goku
down.
Frieza. Doesn't have to worry
'cause
about
big yellow.
Purple Cell. Doesn't have to
Agreed.
worry about some of those like more niche characters like Path to Power Kid Goku or Ginyu.
He's right.
Or Ultra Goku.
Wish I could worry
Blue
about
as much,
Ginyu.
so
God.
that also helps this character out significantly too. And the fact that you can pair him up alongside Goku and Bardock also helps, because at that point you have essentially a
Can't be
team
rushed.
where the enemy UI Goku can't just snipe a character. Like, you have 2
That's also
zombie
accurate.
units that are unkillable in one hit.
Yeah, I
Right,
get
Goku
that.
and Bardock's indestructible mechanic.
That
then you
makes
have
sense
Pycon's
for
revival,
safety. Again.
And then, of course, UI Goku himself,
His best team is more safety than mine. It's just more offense against the best guy.
you're going to have the anti-ultimate
And that's just up
tech,
to your play
the
style,
heal
really.
plus the power down, plus all that stuff. So, yeah, I think this Pycon's really good. I think this Gogeta's really good. Gogeta himself, I guess we can just briefly talk about this character here. This is the one area where I think this guy sort of feels a little better than Piccolo, in the fact that I think this Super Gogeta
Fair
is probably
extension,
just a
at
little
least.
better than Piccolo. Piccolo, I think,
And
hits
the
harder with like
range, the blue.
less cards.
Yes.
But this Gogeta's ability to
goes.
extend combos for so, like, if you get the combo
And he
off
had a
with
green
this
card.
Gogeta after he revives initially, he's got triple card draw speed.
Like
Plus,
the
if you
new-
have a green, he's got triple card draw speed plus cover null, which is
Yeah.
really important. And then the one thing though
He's like a pseudo Ginyu.
that to me separates
he
Gogeta
loses
from
his
Piccolo
triple
is just the fact
faster.
that this guy has a long range blue card. I think it really does
Yes.
matter. We have a lot of characters now that don't really care about melee based blue cards as much. Janemba, UI Goku. If you're in a combo against UI Goku and you go for a blue card with Orange Piccolo, well, it's not gonna affect him if he's got his gauge up. This Gogeta's different. And then I also think this Gogeta's blue card being ranged also gives him more of an opportunity to be able to snipe characters from long range, which Piccolo can't do. So
True.
there are a few areas where this Pycon / Gogeta character definitely has innate advantages over Piccolo, but a lot of it, I would say, is just coming down to the meta right now.
It's just teams.
I think
They
Saiyans
just
is
fit
just
better on
the
teams.
fact that this character is classified as a Saiyan means you can build teams around this character more easily than you could with Piccolo. So that's
You're right.
what I'm going to say about Pycon and
Number 6,
Gogeta at
by
number
the way.
6. Let's go ahead and move into the top 5 next. Okay, so number 5, we have Super Saiyan Blue.
So me personally, this unit went down. I mean, I'd assume this character went down for Goresh as well because, well, we'll get into details. But yeah, they went down for me. Number 5, I had them interchangeable 6/7. So nothing too crazy. One placement off. I had them at 6 of like 6/7 for my personal bias. So yeah, number 5 here. Nothing crazy, but I am curious why he lowered them over anything
Goku
here.
And Evolution Blue Vegeta. I will just say that I think slots 5, 4, and 3 are all relatively close. I don't really think there's like some ridiculous separation between them.
Interesting.
But in terms of this character in particular, I'm not going to go into extensive length about this unit. I'm pretty sure everybody knows how good they are. But the reason why they're not higher on the list is mainly just due to the fact that characters that rely on like super long combos, and I talked about this with Vegeta Blue now at this point already as well. It's very tough to be able to chain together these like long, ridiculous combos against UI Goku. It's very tough. And it's not just UI Goku, right? When you have characters that are doing like super mega long combos, like I've done probably, because the combo counter stops at 99, doesn't go higher than that. Honestly, at this point, they should probably increase that because it would be nice to see how much above 99 we can go, because at this point we have a lot of different characters that can achieve this. But for this character, like I've probably had combos that have gone above 150 easily. But once you get to that point, it's like it's not even worth continuing. Like you're just wasting time.
He's correct on that, but that's more their thing. And the thing is, with that, like they combo so long, they have very good cover and all when they combo that long. At that point in the match, that'd be like a mid to late game. Well, I would say more late game actually, where they're doing that kind of like combo extension length. But again, that is actually a dilemma. Yeah, combo, you do have to drop combo eventually. There's things with like, I'll do like 4 to 6 cards of UVB. I'm like, okay, this 6th card like kind of hit like shit. Like, let me hold up here, do a charge into like a drop, main ability. Boom, I catch them. Oh my god, I'm reset back to godly damage here, back to the peak potential of UVB, and that's kind of thing this unit needs to do as well. You do need to just sometimes drop. Well, you don't want to. It's unsafe. You just have to like fucking do it sometimes. I don't think people utilize that just overall as a premise, just dropping randomly mid combo because your combo comp is just getting too fucking high. This character is definitely one of those that is reliant on that premise, and I just don't see that often.
You're doing such little damage thanks to combo compensation that it's not even worth continuing the combo in most instances. Like, it's cool. And it's helpful in the sense that it allows you to farm Rising Rushes, I guess, if you don't have your Rising Rush at that point.
But then you have so much safety right now in the game.
But this
right?
character,
So like,
I mean, yes, they're extraordinarily good. Combo potential is almost unmatched, but they're not as good defensively as I would like.
They're tag
the
units.
Biggest downside to them,
which makes
well,
sense,
as the fact that it's harder for them to combo for an exorbitant amount of time compared to pre-UI Goku coming out. And so I've had instances where I'm fighting a 12, 13, 14 star version of this character with 17 on the team and just getting like 1 card off on this unit and then just switching to UI Goku means they die. So, I mean, I would actually say that this character...
I've had that happen.
You think about it logically, and you would assume that UI Goku coming out, being yellow,
would
able
buff
to
them.
cover this character's weakness to purple characters, and essentially removing purple characters from the game
Does help them.
would be very good for this unit. And I would actually say that's probably true still. Right?
Yes.
Running UI Goku next to this character could be good. I think they sort of clash a little bit, but not as much as I think people are saying at this point. But I think UI Goku functions more of a good counter to this character than he does as a partner, which is interesting.
I kind of touched on this. Yes, this character does lose value more than gains value overall than anything with this Omen drop because of their extension. You will just inevitably draw strikes, which makes your combo end, which is their whole premise of I can combo long, hey, Omen gauge, hey, you do dashboard blue, hey, that shit done. You're not going to draw Infinite Blast. They're holding 1-1 on every team in the game. You're not drawing Infinite Blast. Their combo potential
and so for
gets
that reason, I'm
hurt.
not really going to knock them or give them a bump up too much because of the UI Goku release. I think he's sort of had a neutral impact on this character. Good partner, but I would say not even just the neutral. I probably would say it hurts them a little bit more than it helps them. UI Goku's release. It's too easy to get the snipe off on this character, and that's where I think the
100% agree.
The effect lies here.
No real debate.
With the
I 100% agree with that.
Because this character has a defensive mechanic, which is whenever the enemy attacks.
Let's move forward because I actually heard the reasonings behind why they're lowered, right? Which is what I was curious about in the first place here. Let's move forward to the next character. This is number 4.
The crazy seeing this guy at number 4.
Where'd I have Janemba? 3? Yeah, 4 for me was Gogeta, and then 5 was Bardock Goku. So Janemba 4, I had Janemba at 3. Again, one placement, I'm not going to debate it. The higher up you go, the more you're going to debate, but one placement, you can't really debate one placement, bro. It's just, it's not even, there's not much to even say about one placement. Janemba goes down a little bit, which makes sense because there's more greens that are able to run around because the purples got nuked. That just is simple. I would say that's like the best thing. That makes sense. And then Omen also hurts Janemba because the big ult debuff there, if Omen's the one to pop it, so like, okay, let's say it's Omen with Pycon. Okay, Omen pops the ult, the gauge ult, and then from there, you debuff 50%. On top of that, you go to Pycon. That shit's doing air. So Janemba does have to lose a little bit, not much. You know, don't get me wrong, Janemba's still a god, but he has to lose at least a little bit because of that situation existing and more greens existing. It makes sense that he goes down a little bit, so I'm not gonna argue this, debate this. There's nothing to say about it. I can understand the perspective that he goes down a little bit lower than I even have him here. Now what's next? Goku Bardock.
The first top 10 list I'm doing with Goku and Bardock on it.
Number 3 here, huh? And I had them 5. I could have argued them 4 as well, but had them 5. So a little bit of a gap. I'm curious to see the reasonings here. The reasonings.
This character is really, really dumb. This character is really dumb. So they introduce this new mechanic, the indestructible mechanic, which is essentially just revive. I mean, let's be real. It's just revive, essentially.
Better endurance.
Now, I mean, there's a few differences. It's actually more so like endurance than it is revival, but it's endurance that can't be canceled by anything. Is basically what it is. The enemy can still combo you while the indestructible is active. It's not going to hurt you at all, but they have the option to do so in case they want to avoid the lock-in. But the crazy thing about this character is if you take a look at every revival unit that we've ever gotten, they pretty much aren't complete characters prior to reviving, right? The revival character is kind of just like, I want to say like 3/4 of a full
accurate
character. Because having a character with 2 lives is broken. Yeah, that's correct. You got it. That having a character with 2 lives is broken. And that's exactly what...
With what we have in the game right now, there's a lot of broken shit. I honestly think that's on like the lower threshold of broken. Like, I know it sounds wild, but we have a lot of broken shit. 2 lives. Honestly, compared to other mechanics, I think that's fine, to be honest. Like, I don't think it's like good for the game, but like, I think it's fine, more or less, compared to other shit we got in this game.
They are broken before they have their indestructible proc, and after they proc their indestructible, they're the same character.
Yeah.
So this is, I would actually argue, like the first revival character that is a complete character pre and post revival. But obviously, it's not actually a revival character. It's
I get what you mean.
Unit. Of course, we can go down the list of different things this character is able to do. They have very easy access to cover nullification.
Green card.
Or special cover. I should specify special cover change nullification now that we have the UI mechanic. Special cover change nullification. Their damage is absurd. They have very ease of access to Zenkai abilities via Namek Goku, via Super Saiyan 3 Goku. They have actually a lot of different small intangible things, like the cost reduction this character is able to get on blue cards, on strikes, on blasts. It's pretty good. They have very ease of access to their tag switch gauge. They get extra tag switch gauge when they get hit by a blue card. They take less damage inherently from blue cards, so that's and ultimates, I should say, as well. They're going to heal up from that. The healing they do when they switch in and out, the key they get when they switch in and out, and then of course everyone's favorite mechanic, the AoE green card. Yeah, I mean this character has a lot of things.
Run alongside Pycon, like you said. you're vibing.
Things that just add up at the end of the day, and they're very, very strong. This character has a unique age as well. I would actually argue that, like, I don't really even understand why they have a unique age, because it doesn't really do anything unique.
Yeah.
Every time they switch in and out, they build it up a little bit. And then I think when they finally get the unique age, all it does is it gives them a little bit extra damage, and like anti-Dragon Ball destruction, card destruction, and key reduction, I think is what it is. So they just can't be interrupted by pretty much anything. And yeah, overall, I mean, this character is doing a lot. They are doing, and they're a very easy include as well on like any team.
Funny enough, I do think, well, they gain value, obviously, with being, you know, green on the more damaging side of Bardock, because he's one building, like, crit and shit, right? I do think they actually get hurt by their own gaining, because Goku is blue. So you got, you know, green units running around, running amok, while they are also green, and you got no protector for Goku. I do think that doesn't, you know, fucking destroy their value, but I do think it does hurt them a little bit, because of, you have Piccolo so common, you got Orange Piccolo so common, you got this unit's so common. I do think they do get hurt a little bit by that, which is why I wouldn't have them at this high positioning. But yeah, the overall kit, what they do is just very
This
good.
is a very good leader slot character.
Exactly.
And I think
That's
this
really
team does actually make it onto, again, what I would consider to be the best team in the game, which is this character, Revival, Gogeta, and UI Goku. And this is the point character on that team. When you're using that team, the best team in the game that I think is the best team in the game, I think that this character is who you're going to be using, and that's going to be on the battlefield for the majority of the fight.
Yes.
Their green card is just too strong in terms of field presence. They, of course, have blast armor. They can't be rushed. Well, they can be rushed, but you don't want to rush this character. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff with this unit. I think they're really good. Obviously, they have a blue and green typing, which can be really good against a lot of the meta characters. Green is going to be good against
blue
Janemba.
Actually is good. It's bad and good. It's beast.
And then green is also really good against the enemy Goku and Bardock that are switched into Goku. And then, of course, Goku, the Goku side's going to be good against, like, VB and Beast Gohan. So, pretty good units. I think them also really not really caring as much against UI Goku's lock-in is another valuable part about this character. But Goku and Bardock at 3. I think this character will only see an increase in value as we continue forward here into 2024. But we'll see. So, Goku and Bardock here at number 3. Let's move on to number 2 next. Number 2, we have Transforming
As I figured, Omen's
Red
number 1. Okay, well, I have Omen number 1, Beast number 2. There's not much that's going to be said that, like, you don't know, I don't know. There's not much that's going to change, right? Reasoning for Omen probably is because he is on that best team in the game, being a more safer option. I do, again, feel that Beast, I don't know if it's the word of downplay, but I do think it's overlooking. I guess that's the best terminology. Beast, like, not need, but the wanting to use Beast in a setting where you're probably going to run into Omens very consistently, I feel is being overlooked a tad bit, because again, that best team, you got nothing. You know, I guess Goku could deal with Beast Gohan hypothetically, but then you look at Beast Gohan, who he's being run with. You have Beast Gohan with Piccolo. You have Beast Gohan with Orange Piccolo. You have Beast Gohan with Goku Bardock, right? That's 3 different green units. So, like, well, in theory, yes, Goku can't take out Gohan. You have 3 greens they can run alongside. I think, actually, if you want to run red, green, green, you are perfectly fine off right now. So you want to run, you know, Beast with Goku, Bardock, Leader, and Piccolo. Who's stopping you? You know, you got, you know, Zenkai buffs there you can kind of run with, or if I guess you want a Leader, Beast there, you run like OG3 boom, you're getting the Zenkai buff for Piccolo and Goku Bardock. I think you could do that very easily, which would be a kind of counter-ish to his best team there, because yes, while you have the setting where you have advantage against, you know, the big Omen man, you also have a setting where you're just kind of safe as well as they are safe. So it's more just like, okay, I have advantage, and then we're both running the same units on the sidelines. Who's in a better spot, me or you? Me at that point, right? So I do think Omen is being not gassed, but just Beast being overlooked in a setting because of that Goku being a safety. And that Goku, actually, of Bardock Goku, is more defensive than offensive, I believe. So he's not going to, like, you know, murder Beast one card type bullshit. That Goku's blue card actually does hit pretty meekly in overall sense. And then, again, you do have green units alongside Beast Gohan. So, well, I think these two will swap, Omen and Beast. There's not much that's going to be said that's like, oh yeah, that's far off. I don't agree. You know, Goresh knows what he's talking about. He's smart and what he's talking about here. So, I think I could just wrap it up here. I mean, I understand where he's coming from with the best team. I understand the premise of it with the safetiness that Omen himself offers to the team, and then the safetiness of the other two. Obviously, again, I agree with 2 of those 3 units on that best team. It's just that I think a different mold on the overall playing of it with more offense than defensiveness on the utility senses. But let me know what you guys think of my reaction to Goresh's top 10 list at the end of December 2023 and the end of 2023, the final one of 2023 here. And yeah, this is probably the most agreed upon list for myself. I think for a lot of people that Goresh has created. Again, the Gammas, I didn't really get why they were here. Like, I understand like their describing of everything, and I agree with the describing like what's going on with them and why they diminished, but why they're here, not really too sure. But again, as I've said, and I think this is the most accurate thing I've ever said, is tier lists become much more objectives the higher up you are, and this is much more objectively true where Beast or Omen number 1. Okay, people have been having that debate. Janemba, you know, top 5 still, right? Evil Kaioken definitely lose value a little bit, but still, you know, very good unit, and etc. The lower down you go in this 10, 9, 8, yada, 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 it becomes much more subjective, because at that point, it's not really like, these are the top tiers, but like, they're not bad characters. And I think that's what happened here. Same thing as usual, where it's much more subjective at the end. But, well, beginning, I guess. But let me know what you guys think of my reaction to him, and I'll see you guys in the next one.